Flosstube. It is Monday the 20th of May, and I thought I would do a little bit of a vlog style since I am doing so many challenges in Magical Stitches and Literacy, and also some other groups, so I kind of need to keep up to where I'm at before I forget. Last time we talked, I was about to start 350 stitches on Totoro, so I went ahead and got that done, and I've been thinking all week of vlogging, and the trouble was every time I did one part of a challenge, I'd think, well, I should vlog that, but then I wasn't able to do it at that point, and by the time I did have time, I was already halfway through another part of a challenge. So I think I need to finish that bit first, then so on and so forth for the entire week. But I did the 350 stitches on Totoro. Then I went over, that was for Magical Stitches, for the homework for last week, which we were meant to have a list of up to 20 whips. And if you had 20 whips, you worked on your 17th whip. And they had a few different variations, and the variation that I did, because I only had, I think, 7 whips, was that I worked on my first whip that I had listed, which was Totoro, for 350 stitches, and then the 7th whip for 350 stitches, which was on my secret stitch. So I went over and I did that, and I came back to Totoro to do 300 stitches for a challenge in another group. So I got that done, and then the sorry, I'm losing track of where I got to. Yeah, I did the 300 stitches for that other group, and because I was done with the homework for Magical Stitches, I then went on to the extra credits, and one of the extra credits for May and June is to work on something to do with water, what you would find in the Black Lake. So water or mermaids or whatever else that was listed. So because Totoro also has water, I worked 500 stitches on the actual water part of that piece. So I'll put in a picture of where it was when I last talked to you. And here it is now. So the first lot of 350 stitches was mainly this cloud, and to catch it up down to the leaves here. And then the next 300 was down in the branch here, up into his leg, and to catch it down to these bushes, or where, I'm not sure whether they're hills or bushes, I'm not quite sure. But that got me the 300 stitches to get me down to the water, because I knew that that was coming up. So then I worked on the water and the reflections for 500 stitches. So there was a lot of stitching for me for the week. Usually I only get 200 to 300 stitches in a day on a good day. So that with the 350 on the secret stitch was definitely a good week for me. And this has been the best month out of the year because I was able to put in so much work at the start of the month in the Quidditch matches for Magical Stitches. But that's where I am now. Right now I am putting in stitches for another extra credit into my secret stitch, and then I will go on and start on the homework for this week when the time comes, which is 200 stitches each of brown, blue, yellow and red. The only colour that I'm coming up short on is red. I can't think of any of my whips that has just plain red in it at the moment, so I will have to muddle around and see what I can do for that, but I can get the others done. So that will be my plan for this week. I've sat down and organized what are the extra credits I have to do and what whips to stitch on for them, and also done that for the other groups that I do challenges in, and also matched up what stitches I can do, like when I'm stitching on one piece, can it be used for challenges in 2 different groups at one time? I know it can't count for 2 challenges in one group at a time, but if I can use it for one challenge or the homework in Magical Stitches as well as a challenge in another group at the same time, I've matched all that up as well, which is great. So there isn't actually that much that I have to do the challenges on their own without matching them up to the challenge of another group. So that was great to see because that's a lot of stitches, and as I mentioned before, I don't get that much done in one day. So that's all for today, and I will be back somewhere probably during my stitching of the homework for Magical Stitches for this week. Okay, catch you later. Happy stitching. Good evening, Flosstube. It is Sunday the 26th of May, so happy mania to all the ones that are still going for the next week. And I hope those that have finished did enjoy their mania time and that it wasn't too stressful. I have been stitching a fair bit since you last saw me, and I'm learning that I really do need to write everything down so that I remember for these vlogs. Otherwise I need to start doing one every day because it is so much, and because I'm in a couple of challenge groups now, it's just a little difficult to remember what I did for which challenge, and found myself having to go back and look at all my posts and see where everything was, but that's okay. So when you last saw me, I was about to work on Totoro again, so I did do that. I'm shaking like crazy, sorry about that. So this is where this stands now. I can't remember exactly, even though it will be mere seconds for you. It has been a couple of days, but I think looking back at my challenges that I did 401 stitches on this one since last time. This was for 2 challenges. I am in Shirl's group, which is basically closed at the moment. It's she's put it to secret because she only wants a small group. And in there I had to stitch on something that made me smile, and now that I look back, I could have done 500 stitches, but I just must have got confused. But I have got 401 stitches for that one. And then also for magical stitches with the homework, we had to stitch on the colors of the houses or the schools of the challenges for Try Wizard Tournament, and I had every color but red, so I was a bit confused what to do, but I decided just to do the penalty stitches and not stress about it too much, so this also covered for that. And so yeah, that's all I've got done on that one. And then I went over to Forever and Ever, and I haven't stitched on this piece since February. It's the first installment of the Cottage Garden Samplings mystery sale, which is up to about month 10 now, I think, so it's almost done, but I am still only on my first installment, and that's just because I don't stitch on it as much as my other pieces. But I got in and I got well, for the first set of challenges I did 573 stitches, so I'll put a picture in of what it looked like. And then this is where I got to. So for the first challenge, I didn't actually do the tail here, but then I went on because in Magical Stitches there was also a challenge to do 200 stitches on something that lays eggs. So I did a further 300 stitches, which brought this bird down into its tail and up its back. And for Shirl's group, for the first part, the 573 stitches, I'd also done a challenge about something that lays eggs, so that was easy. I quite enjoyed pulling this one back out again, and I do want to get in and get this installment finished, just because it has been so long going. As you can see, I am doing it as one piece, which I think I have mentioned before, but I know I've got new viewers since then and new subscribers. But I am doing this all 12 on one piece, so it will be huge. It's 2/2, and I'm pretty sure that it's 32 count, but I'm not exactly sure, either 28 or 32 count. A dear friend who's also a Flosstuber hand dyed it and gave me this huge piece, and she's doing hers on the same color, but she's doing hers all as single pieces. Today I have had a new start, but I won't show it in this vlog, just because I've barely got anything done on it, and I am pressing to get probably 1,000 stitches on it over the next couple of days for 2 different challenges. That actually, the challenges I'm focusing on are extra credit challenges in Magical Stitches for May and June, but I'll also be able to use it for a couple of challenges in Shirl's group, which that you can stitch on whatever you like, so we'll use it for that as well. So I will hopefully catch up with you in the next couple of days. I'll probably do all those challenges until I'm finished what I'm doing on my new start, until I change over to something else, and then I will record again. So I hope you're all loving your stitching, as we all do, and that your stitching bug is alive and well, and I will talk to you later. Happy stitching. Morning Flosstube, it is Tuesday the 4th of June, so I thought I'd better get this video wrapped up today. I would have got it done earlier, but as you will see, I have had a finish, so I was wanting to get that done. But as for today, I am working a little bit more on Forever and Ever. I've yet to figure out exactly what I'm doing for the homework in Magical Stitches and how I'm going to fit that into the Homework for Shirls group for this month. I do have to sit down and organise all that again. But when we last spoke, I did say I was going to have a new start, or I had a new start, and I was going to press on and do about 1,000 stitches on it. That didn't get done, but it did get started because I wanted to start this piece in autumn, just to be able to say that I'd started it. So I did, technically. I started it on the 30th, so that was great, but my progress is impossible, to the point that I can't even see which one's the front and the back. Here we go. My stitching's just not that great on this one as for now. But whoop, there we go. That's all I've got done on this piece so far. So I will want to get back to this, and it is Autumn Stained Glass by Imaginating, and I've had this piece in my stash for quite a while, and this year I wanted to focus on getting some seasonal pieces started in the season that they're in. So this was my first, and what I was able to do, so I kitted it up and started it. The reason I didn't get on to finishing my 1,000 stitches on it is, as I was starting it, I got the idea to start and finish another gift piece. So that's taken up all this time, and it's the piece that I wanted to get finished. So I did that, I finished it and just framed it this morning. And that's this piece from Imaginating as well. So I wasn't quite happy with the framing, and I hate framing myself, but I do know that if I don't frame it myself, that it won't get sent, just because of the expense of framing. So for now, I just have to frame myself. So this one will get sent off probably in a week or two. So I can't wait to see the reaction to it when it gets to where it's going. And so that's all I've done in the last week or so since I last spoke to you. So I will work today. I will work on Forever and Ever until I do figure out what I am doing. I may go over to Totoro for the homework for Magical Stitches. I did ask on the group, and it looks like it's a good option, and that will be a fair bit of work because it is 1,000 stitches to get done on that piece before Sunday. But as for now, I will wrap this up and just say thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, for the new subscribers that I have got in the last week. And I can't wait to hear from you and hope to see you again in a couple of weeks. Happy stitching.